Now Ayrshire Radio Podcast presents Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Welcome back to Ayrshire Insights with me, Elliot Boyce, and as promised, we have a brilliant guest on today's show for this week's Local Legend Spotlight. This man is the founder and MD of a purpose-driven business that saves clients millions by predicting failures in their critical equipment. I'm delighted to welcome Jamie Burns of Ailsa Reliability Solutions. Jamie, a massive thanks for coming on the show today.
No, thanks for having me, Elliot.
So before we find out about how it all started, we want to know about what you do. So first of all, human or AI?
Each of their place. Humans are needed, but AI is going to make life so much easier for everybody.
Reliability or sustainability?
The two of them are interactive with each other. Keep something reliable, it will use less energy, so they're both connected.
And prevention or prediction?
Prediction.
There we go. So we managed to get you to actually answer one of the questions and give a straight one. There we
With
go.
one word, that. That's going to be tough for you for the whole show, I think.
Now, yeah, that listen, brilliant. Now, we're going to find out a lot more about Jamie very soon.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
Now Ayrshire.
Oh, Jamie, where did you grow up?
Irvin born and bred.
Still there?
Aye.
What jobs did you do before starting your business?
There's obviously probably a lot of people for Ayrshire watching this or listening to this, sorry, because I put it on Facebook just for a laugh. So I'll give you a very quick rundown. So left school, did a couple of bits and bobs. Then I did a lot of door-to-door sales. So I was the annoying guy that was at your door trying to sell you something, whether it was double glazing, windows, doors, conservatories, all that kind of stuff. I even sold the Provi. Do you know what the Provi is?
Remember
I remember the Provi. So I sold the Provi. I was at an event one time and I was actually saying that, and I says, I used to sell the Provi, and they were all too posh and they knew what it was. So I had to explain to them that it was a thing that folk came to your door and gave you money. So I did the Provi, but I even sold.
And then on to the back.
Aye, I didn't matter to me because I didn't collect it.
I just
Sold it, yeah. But one of the funniest ones is I used to sell Kirby Hoovers. You'll not remember them, Elliot, you're too young. But I used to sell Kirby Hoovers, and I was the best salesperson in the whole of the UK. I sold them to my mum, my gran, my auntie, basically everybody that run about me that knew one. So this was like £1,400 for a Hoover back in 1997, I think it was, 1997, 98.
Joe, really scary. That was the year I was born.
Was it? Oh, for goodness sake. Right, that's just depressing, Elliot. Right, depressing. But back then I didn't really know the ins and outs of finance. I just knew that I get like an extra £100 or whatever it was for selling it in finance, and I think my gran was still paying up for about 20 years. And actually we were just
It's only 70 quid a month.
Aye, for the rest of your life. And it was actually quite funny is my dad. So my dad was clearing out my papa's house in Fundy Kirby, right? That was just there, and it was sold there in 1998 or something.
Still working?
I probably was still working, aye, to be honest. They were indestructible. Best Hoover in the world. Anybody's thinking about a new Hoover, buy a Kirby. I might still get commission.
So there we go. So in that time, right, the door-to-door sales, what was one of the... You must have some excuses. What is it when you're chapping someone's door trying to get over the line? What was your tactic? Because someone comes to my door, I'm like, go away, I'm busy.
Aye. See, I just seem to have the gift for it. Begged them, basically.
I'm not leaving here.
Please. Skin.
So out with the door-to-door sales, what else have you done? I think I remember you as well from something as well.
I used to, back in the day when I started the business, I used to deliver Chineses. So that's where me and you met. But when you start the business, you just have to do what you need to do. You've still got a house, you've still got kids, you've still got all the bills that come with it. But before I started the business up, I'd finished the door-to-door sales, and then I was always engineering led, so I always wanted to be an engineer. So I went and did a modern apprenticeship as an electronic engineer in SCI, and then after kind of 3 and a bit years in that factory, realised I didn't want to be in a factory all the time. So I then went in and did kind of sales, back out doing sales, but doing technical sales. Became a sales engineer for a company called Avery Waytronics, which I learned a huge amount. So they get bought over by a big American company called ITW, and I didn't realise at the time how much I learned there. And then it wasn't until I moved from there and I actually get headhunted by GE So you'll know who GE are, obviously the GE Press Week, but this was another part of GE. Headhunted by them, I was there for a few years and then get headhunted by the company I left to start up this business called Quartz Select. So I was based up there. The first job with them was I took over a business in Aberdeen. So I was based up there for about 3.5 years, and then I get promoted. Then I was kind of based down in Rugby and looked after, well, I think at one point I did 250 indirect staff with a business that was worth turned over 30 million, and transformed that business around. And then what happened was various things that happened in telling a business happened, but COVID had struck and I was still driving up and down the road to Rugby. And see, when COVID first happened, you were driving down and all you could get was fuel. You couldn't get food, you couldn't get anything. And you're going, what am I doing? So eventually that was the kind of, I'd probably say the June time I was like that, right, enough's enough, and decided that I was just going to come home and go and give it a go myself, and then did that, and then that was the business's birthday. We were 5 years old on the 16th of September, so last Tuesday, and we took the whole team out to Bellahouston Park, did a kind of team building event with a lovely guy that does leadership coaching called Fresh Air Dave, right, so you need to try and get him on. Fresh Air Dave, brilliant, and yep, so we've been kind of going from strength to strength since then.
So 5 years trading, certainly a very varied CV, but probably the kind of latter stuff with GE kind of got you into the industry that you're in just now.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So GE became, so before that I was in Waverley, was in the weighing industry. Then I went into GE and I was kind of drives and controls. That was a business that I started because of my electronics background, and then I ended up taking on a larger scope of works within that role, and then took in rotating equipment, so motors, generators, pumps, fans.
All the stuff you do now.
All the stuff we do now, right? But the bigger stuff. So, yeah, and then what had happened was, when I was at Quartz, we were expert firefighters. So what had happened is something would break down either offshore or a major power station in, I don't know, Chile, for example, and we would then mobilise a team of guys to go there and fix it. You go and fix it, everybody's happy, but they've spent an absolute fortune during that time. Everybody's been stressed out their head, and the environmental impact was massive. So I then decided, there must be an easier way of doing this. There must be, because this is an absolute nightmare. Yes, it was good. Yes, you made good money doing it. But see the stress on everybody that was involved? It was horrendous. So rather than us being expert firefighters, Kane and I now started a business that we're fire prevention officers. So we will tell them it's coming. So we don't fix anything. But what we do is we tell somebody that there's a problem, and we'll tell them it's there way before it becomes an issue and breaks down. And that's where they save all the money.
Proactive approach rather than reactive.
Yes. Proactive and try to predict the future rather than just waiting for it to come and hit you.
So from a young age, clearly a kind of very varied CV. Did you always plan to do something yourself, or did it just naturally progress into that?
It'd be a good laugh if there was actually people could comment on this, right? Because if you used to get my pals is like, you're either going to be a millionaire or you're going to be somewhere else, because there was always something in me that always wanted to be successful. I'll tell you, well, I told this story before, another thing as well. What kind of made me, I was always quite entrepreneurial. When I was younger, I started off doing paper runs. So I do a morning paper run, then I went, I can do Evening Times as well. Do you even know what the Evening Times is?
I know that.
Aye. I know that. So the Evening Times,
I saw it in some history.
Did you? I'm away, you guys. See you later. So did that. Then I realised that I could sell bacon. So I was selling bacon to my Evening Times customers, and then I'm like that. Can do all these things. So I started selling confectionery. So there was always something in me, but that all stemmed from, I can remember asking my mum for a pair of trainers. And my mum's like that to me. Listen, son, I just don't have the money for that. They're extortionate, blah, blah, blah. So I went, do you know what, I'll just go make the money myself and I'll get them. And I got the trainers. And then from there on was always a case of just trying to make my own money and make my own way in life, and realise that you work hard enough and things can happen.
So going from employed to self-employed, you can show the journey there. Getting behind the business side of things, though, clearly to start out, there's obviously you were doing some other things in the background, like deliveries and stuff, just to kind of keep things ticking along. How did you get the initial capital investment to start?
I didn't. So I basically had 3 months loo money for my old business. Don't get me wrong, I made good money back then, so it was a decent enough amount just to keep me going. But then I had to obviously get the mortgage payment stopped and do all this kind of stuff, do the things you just need to do. So I literally funded probably about just over a year in my life doing deliveries of Chineses.
And in terms of the investment into starting the business, was there apart from funding you, was there a significant cash to get the technologies and the software to build it, or was it just your time and your colleagues' time?
It was my time to begin with, but then what happened was I went and got, so the first technology we got was a thing called a motion amplification camera. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, and which will probably be 99% of the people that will be listening to this, go and Google it, right? Motion amplification. It is a technology that what it does is it brings movement and vibration to life. So rather than somebody looking at all these fancy graphs, it's a video and it shows you what's moving. It's absolutely amazing. So I went, it would have been, so I got it just, I think it was on Christmas Eve in 2020. But I went to a guy, well, I'm going to give him a shout out on this because he might be listening, is my friend Kevin. Right, Kevin Jock for Commercial and Asset Finance. So Kevin, I went to him with a business plan and a dream. He says, can you go and get me finance for a 45 grand camera? Right, and he's like, what? So told him what it was, everything else. He managed to get me asset finance on that. Brilliant. So that's what got me started. Then what happened was in January 21, I got it just before Christmas, so literally like a wee Wayne at Christmas, sitting there playing with my new toy. Right, I've got fans out, so
taking the vibrations in the house.
Aye. So what it is, I was sitting there and I had a fan. I had a standalone fan that you could actually use it to train yourself with. So I did that, but then I managed to get 6 sites in January that were going to let me in to show them the technology. Because when I did sales in Scotland, I was always a good guy, right? I would always help people, and that's something I've had my whole life, is just be a good guy, try and help people where you can, and then it'll come back. So I managed to get six people who said, Jamie, right, I hear you're out on your own, I understand you've got this new technology, can you come and show me it? So then what happened was, I had all these 6 things booked in, couldn't wait, absolutely buzzing about going out to see them. And then the next thing you know, the second lockdown came in. Right, second lockdown came in, 5 of them had to cancel on me because these are big sites, right? 5 of them had to cancel, got one, got a contract out of them, £18,000, and then that kept me going.
Right, we're going to keep going with this, really enjoying it. We're going to talk big wins and big lessons just after this.
Now streaming,
Ayrshire Insights, hosted by Elliot Boyce.
this is Now Ayrshire Radio.
So, Jamie, what was your first big win?
Well, that £18,000 contract that I said that we got at the beginning, that was obviously crucial for us because at that point, as I say, the Chineses were the only sort of income I had. So getting that £18,000 and the £18,000 they actually paid us up front, so we got it in advance. And that was actually off a guy that I'd worked with before and I actually had to let go. So it just shows that if you're a good guy, even in that process, things come back around to help you. So that was good. But the one of the business for me is all about stepping stones. So you've got lots and lots of small steps as you try to grow a business, and you've got some big ones. And a couple of big ones that are noticeable in our business was we won a 3-year contract with DSM in Dorai. So that was a big changing point for us. At the time, that was a bit of a risk for DSM, because we were quite a small company and we'd taken it off a large multinational company, so it was a bit of a risk for them, but it's paid off well for everyone because we've helped save them an absolute fortune during that time, and obviously it's helped us springboard ourselves to where we are now. Another kind of big win was we installed the first of its kind hybrid remote monitoring system offshore in an oil and gas platform. So right now from our offices in Coinning, we monitor 4 oil platforms sitting in Coinning and basically just phoning them up and saying, by the way, your seawater lift pump motor that you've got out there, that's actually on its way out. You've got an issue with something in it and you're going to have to address it at your next outage. So we don't have to go offshore anymore. We just sit at our computers. Well, the brainy guys in my business know me. They sit at their computers and they'll predict failures in all these bits of equipment. And it's amazing, saving them a fortune and not having to go offshore either.
It's an amazing technology. So just going into the technology side of things, because everything that you're discussing is so current just now. I mean, I've been involved as well. 5G Centre in Irvine, you've got all the big driving 5G technologies, and also the AI technologies. I know there's been massive grants and stuff recently. So your business clearly is right in amongst what is so current just now.
Yeah. As I say, we seen this coming, so that was a big part of starting the business, was because I seen the world changing. Right, during COVID, I thought it would have just accelerated that, where technology would become there rather than the old style way of sending humans everywhere across the world. So we were kind of a bit in front of the trend. So we've obviously developed our own AI. But you're talking about so I think Ayrshire's now been given £15 million to develop AI. So it's becoming an AI central hub. So we were quite quite involved in that process because obviously we're one of the companies in here that are actually building our own AI, but we've also been involved in around AI kind of scene since we started. So we understand it. We were also quite heavily involved in the 5G innovation that took place. So Julie and the team there from the Ayrshire 5G IR initiative that they got, and that was amazing. So there's so many other businesses now in Ayrshire that are digitalising and getting themselves into advanced wireless communications and stuff like this.
Totally. Do you know what? It's now resonating with me. I was in the conference, so I was there when we did the presentations on the back of it, and it was amazing to see all the different businesses. I remember your story in the presentation from it, and there was loads of different businesses across Ayrshire, all different sectors, and all looking at how they can integrate the technologies. Now, talking about AI, right, so it's something that a lot of people, and the most listeners that will be listening going, AI, they know about ChatGPT, your co-pilots of the world. Better kind of like write a Facebook post for me, or how do I word this better? Well, tell us about AI and the powers of it. And people are, there's a nervousness with people about AI, about feeding the machine. What would you say to those people?
So I'll give you a quick the Jamie Burns overview of AI, right? AI is like a child, right? You teach your child manners, what's right from wrong, and all the good things, what's good in the world and what's bad in the world, and teach them to look at the good side, it becomes a good young adult. If you don't teach it properly, it becomes a delinquent. So that's where AI is.
Rubbish in, rubbish out.
That's it. But if you don't teach it the right things, it's a very, very powerful tool. It will never ever take the place of humans in everything that happens, but there is so much value that it can have. So what I've said is, you use AI, whether it's a business or personal, use AI to take away the time constraints of some of the things that you would maybe do before. So to do some of those mundane tasks and searching for stuff and things like this, you can use AI to streamline and make that more efficient. So that's what AI should be used for, is to make your life a bit easier, more efficient, but not to take over and do everything. Obviously, we've built our own AI, and I think, Alana's listening because she messaged me to say she liked the Backstreet Boys or whatever was on earlier. So she's listening. So our AI is still currently called Kane's Brain, right? So Kane is the brains of our outfit. I used to say that I was the good looks and he was the brains, but my looks have went now, so I say that I'm the talker, he's the thinker, right? So it's called Kane's Brain because what we've done is, ours is completely different from anyone else that's in our field. People in our field, what you've got is pattern recognition, or it's looking at a change in state. What ours is basically Kane's Brain. So we were teaching Kane was basically teaching all the new guys that were coming into our business. And I'm like, this is going to take forever for us to scale to the size that we want to be. So I'm like, rather than you teaching all those people, Kane, let's just extract everything that's in your brain and put it into the AI model. So it goes through the same systematic thought process that Kane would do when he's looking at faults. It's absolutely amazing. And we've now done that. So we've obviously talking about the 5G centre and stuff like that. So we've got a full test skid in the DPMC down at Irvine and at Booth Welsh. So we've got a test skid in there so we can actually demonstrate and prove this. Because one of the other problems you've got is with AI is, you need to prove it on real life stuff, right? So ChatGPTs and all that kind of stuff, they're great. They're just looking for the internet for all this stuff and then putting it together. But when you're looking at what we do, and there's lots of AI products out there, but they're not tested properly. They're tested on what's called clean data. So you're putting data in there which is systematic data and simulated data, which isn't real life. Whereas we're building our own real life, so it's actually finding real life problems rather than it's just finding something and saying, oh, that can't be right because my rules say that that's wrong. And
so if you were to say it's somebody in business just now listening in, and they've maybe never thought about AI, they maybe look at employing people, or maybe something there. How do you get to the point though of extracting the information from the brain and putting it in? Is it support through places like the DPMC? How does that happen?
We were fortunate because we've got if there's anybody that's in business and they've never heard of a thing called the KTP, right? A KTP is a knowledge transfer partnership where you've got an academic institute, an industry partner, and then Innovate UK. So we're lucky enough, our academic institute, Strathclyde University. So we've got access to the biggest brains in Britain, right, to help us with all this, because we're no software guys, right? We're used to fixing stuff when it breaks, and then we've decided we want to try and stop it breaking. So that we've learned, and we've now got a team of guys who are very, very good and very intelligent and can do programming. But back then we weren't. It was just Kane and I that had an idea that it could be done different. So we had access to them. But from that's all right for us. We're looking at a real technical AI where it's to try and predict failures and look into the future. But see, just for your normal business AI, anybody that doesn't try and embrace AI within their business processes will fall behind. No ifs or buts about it, because what will happen is the ones that are looking at it as a business enabler, so to try and streamline their operations, will be able to take on more, be able to go faster, be much more efficient and much more profitable. So we've started doing it in our business and looking at what is all the parts of your business process that can be automated. And I recently had I go to a lot of events and stuff like this, and AI is obviously a top topic wherever you go. So I was sitting there talking to a guy that this is what he does as a business, and see, when he was telling me about all the things, you're like, that and that will make, like Alana's life who's listening, that will make her life so much easier, because that can all be automated, because it's all about saving time. Time is money. If you can save time, make it more accurate and make it more pain-free to go through those processes, it just makes you more money.
Have you got anybody that does the kind of gap analysis then between manual processes to automated processes?
That's what the chap I was talking about did. So there's a few companies out there that will help you with it, and one of the things I would say is that these companies come at a bit of a cost, but I guarantee you will save that money tenfold by getting people in who know the different programs that are out there, know the way that all these things link together, and get somebody in that's they'll just come in and do a bit of a consultation with you, and then say, right, use these 5 programs that's going to automate all that for you.
And the good thing I think you mentioned there as well, Innovate UK are a massive supporter of loads of businesses that get involved with the grant side of things with various new innovations and projects. But the partnership you've got with the uni is really interesting, and I think that's something that a lot of businesses probably don't realise. You get people that are quite close in it and they go, right, well, we could do it, and they're very proud of what they do. But there is brains out there, and there's support and there's networks out there to enhance your business, and you could be sitting there at a 5 out of 10 and they can very quickly get up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 business.
100%. See, we're a big believer in, we don't know everything, right? But we want to surround ourselves with people that know the things that we don't. And that's not a weakness, right? As a business, that is a real strength, if you ask me. And as being a person or in a business, actually knowing when you go, right, that's past my level of expertise, how do I go and find somebody that knows more than me?
See, from an initial point of view then, so you'd mentioned obviously the partnership 5G Centre. I take it you've got quite good dialogue with your local business gateway advisors.
Yeah. So obviously we're North Ayrshire Council, so we've got access to the North Ayrshire growth team and people like that. We're quite connected to all of the councils in Ayrshire, just through the Net Zero Accelerator programmes and all the other things that we do. We do a lot of community wealth building activities, because I really care about Ayrshire. I've had to worked away for 14 years, which is criminal that you're away for your family and away for the area that you love. So that's why we wanted to bring the business here, to try and create good, well-paid, sticky jobs that are for the future, that are going to be here.
Building something that certainly is the future. Now, going back onto the business, amazing technology, but I've been really interested and really pleased to hear it. I think it's certainly for me and my business life, and also everyone else really needs to look at adopting it and kind of breaking down the barriers and not being scared of it. Go and look and try and develop and become better. Now, getting back onto business though, there's obviously some challenges in generally running a business. What would you say kind of some of the biggest challenges you've faced in running a business been?
Some of the biggest challenges probably staffing is obviously a challenge for everybody. So one of the things that we're trying to do is grow our own. So we've got some real potential within our business. We've got a young team. So, but that then comes as a challenge as well, because you end up with too many students and not enough teachers. So you've got that challenge. One of the other challenges for me is obviously we're trying to grow at quite a fast rate, and you'll then get the things like in Ayrshire, there's not a lot here. You're trying to then build something that's big and going to be a legacy, and bring other companies in, like green companies, digital companies, all this kind of stuff, and building a bit of your community that's all trying to take that kind of those sectors forward. But you can't do that on your own, so you need support. So one of the things that we've got, a big challenge for us now, is try to get a business premises. So we're trying to get a new building, and because we're dealing with companies like BP, Shell, DSM, CNR, Viridor. We're dealing with big businesses, and this remote monitoring centre that by the way, I'm calling it Mission Control, so we'll wait and see if NASA sue me. It's going to be great fun, right? That'll be great for my LinkedIn live show. NASA, great for my LinkedIn live show. Guess what, guys? NASA's suing me. So anyway, but you've got all these big companies that are looking in Ayrshire, right? So I'll give you an example. We are going to be putting a technology out in an oil platform in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf of America, whatever the way I call it nowadays, right? So what? We're going to pull it. The Gulf of something. The Gulf of something. Is it Trump's away? Sorry, I don't think he'll know.
You never know. He'll be listening.
Yeah, he might be. If you are. let us know what it's going to be. So anyway, so it's called the Thunder Horse, right? So in the North Sea they're called things like Thistle, Clare. This is called Thunder Horse. So you can imagine you've got the guys in Coinning, our remote monitoring guys sitting in their B mission control going, guys, there's a problem on Thunder Horse. We better phone them, right? So you'll get the wee Inco winning, wee Harry phoning up. Is that the engineering manager on the Thunder Horse? You've got an issue coming with this machine, right? But all of these companies looking in Ayrshire going, they're the people that are saving us millions of pounds. So when you look at these companies to look in, you want it to be a flagship building that's saying, look at the tech, look at the technology, look at this, look at
100%.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is get the councils and Scottish Enterprise and people like to be on board and go, here's something to be proud of, right? There's a company here that's just a wee guy that decided to go, do you know what, I'm going to go and give this a go. It's starting to grow and it's turning into something that's hopefully going to be really special. But doing that, you need to have the right look and feel for all these people looking in at Ayrshire. And you look at the DPMC, absolutely fantastic, right? You go in there, fantastic, right? So I want to have something like that where when people come in to see us and talk to us, they're impressed. They think, wow,
flagship office.
Flagship office, head office, because I've got an office in Aberdeen. Aberdeen are desperate for us to take a business up there because we are doing everything that they want. Green, digital, innovation, 5G, all of these kind of things that they're talking about. We're making the oil and gas sector greener, right? Because we're stopping things coming back onshore. They're desperate for us to go up there. Glasgow's desperate for us to go there. But we don't want to do that. We want to stay in Ayrshire, right? Because this is where it started. The purpose of being here is North Ayrshire is one of the most deprived areas in the whole of the UK. Let's try and bring decent jobs back here.
What is the challenge, though?
The challenge is I'm not wanting to sit here and end up getting into a kind of slagging match about things, but you've got the council that's got loads of buildings. In fact, you know what, I'm going to, right? You've got the council that have got loads of buildings there, right? We're willing to buy those buildings off of them, but they're not willing to sell them.
Why?
I don't know, right? Because of the politics, because of...
Well, if anybody from North Ayrshire Council's listening and that's involved with that and wants to come on the show to let us know what their take is on it and what their side of it is, then please do get in touch in 01292623232. Drop us a WhatsApp or get in touch with the station. We're delighted to get you on to let us know why the challenges are and why or why not you're not able to support other businesses.
Yeah, and that's what any grants that I'm going to be getting out the window now, Bill, things.
Well, listen, at the end of the day though, we're here we want to hear both sides. So if you are from North Ayrshire Council or any of the councils, to give us some insight into your side on it and the challenges and what you're able to do to support, then do get in touch with us.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast with Elliot Boyce.
Now Ayrshire.
It's time to talk community, charity and Ayrshire Pride. But before we do that and find out your links to the community, the listeners were in touch earlier on and let me know their bargain of the week. So the question to you, Jamie, is what's your bargain of the week that you've got for a tenner or less?
Well, I get bargains all the time for less than a tenner from home bargains, but it still costs me about £120 by the time I come out of it, so I don't know if that really classes a bargain.
There's plenty of other bargain places to go as well, but yes.
But hopefully I get a discount now that I've given my shout out on the radio.
Right, Jamie, back to you. So why support causes like us here at Now Ayrshire Radio?
I feel very passionate about Ayrshire, to be perfectly honest with you, Elliot. We do a lot of giving back. So that's giving back to charity, giving back to people, giving our time up to do things because we feel that it's the right thing to do. Obviously, I've seen struggles of people kind of come through different things, including myself at times, and being in a position that you can give back, whether that is giving back some to charity, raising money for charity. Like yesterday, for an example, we were up at Crawfordland Estate doing a mud run, and I was a bit of a team building thing, but also raised just over £1,000 for charity, and it's still open. So anybody that wants to donate a wee fiver, you'll see it on Alana's Facebook and my Facebook, and also see it on LinkedIn. But just doing things like that. So we've now got a relationship with a few different charities. The Ayrshire Cancer Support Team have been helping them out with a few different things. So if you can give back, why not?
No, absolutely. Now you're seen around the studio here today that local feeling. Yes. That's our big tagline. What does that local feeling mean to you?
Well, my family's been for here my whole life. My generations under me are hopefully going to spend time here, so it means everything. Absolutely everything. And that's why when this radio station started, I was really, really pleased. I'm saying this is good. Something from Ayrshire for Ayrshire is probably a wee statement, I would say.
No, brilliant. Now, how has your business actually made an impact locally? Obviously, you've mentioned all of the stuff with what you're doing with 5G and what you're bringing to Ayrshire and trying to grow from a technology perspective in Ayrshire. But from a charitable perspective, what kind of things have you been involved in?
Lots. We've had charity golf days, took part in loads of charity golf days. We've had runs, we've had people running the London Marathon.
Any specific charities you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, give Ayrshire, I think it's Ayrshire Cancer Support. So they do a lot of running people, basically.
Absolutely.
Up and down to the beach and places like that. So they're one of them. We did a lot for the British Art Foundation. We've done stuff for the Honeypot down at Dumfries House. We've done things for loads of. So we used to share it around a lot, but the Ayrshire Cancer Support team, they've actually been giving a lot back, so we'll probably be supporting them quite a lot as we go forward. Done stuff for the Ayrshire Hospice, done stuff for Macmillan, done stuff. We basically gave to nearly every charity, Dementia Scotland, MND, but we're going to be getting away from giving to the big charities, because what we've found is yes, obviously they're appreciative, but see, some of the local charities, they need it more. And when we speak to, like, say, some of the Ayrshire-based charities, they like £1,000 to them is a big, massive difference.
Yeah.
We've also given a bit to some of the, like, there's a lot of kind of rehabilitation groups in Ayrshire, which obviously when I was growing up, there's a lot of people who had a lot of challenges growing up, so we've given a fair bit back to some of these people as well, just to try and help and do our little bit.
No, it's amazing, and it's amazing to see a business right here in Ayrshire supporting the people of Ayrshire, growing Ayrshire, and also supporting the Ayrshire charities. Right, we're going to finish strong with a fun round and find out what's next for Jamie Burns just after this.
Tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. for Ayrshire Insights with Elliot Boyce.
Only on Now Ayrshire Radio.
Now Ayrshire.
Now it's time for 5 fast ones. So Jamie, I don't want you to think about it, just shout out the first answer that comes to your head. Are you ready to play 5 fast ones?
Yep.
Right, let's go. Favourite takeaway?
Chinese.
Song that always lifts your mood?
Obsession Ultrasonic.
Best thing about Ayrshire?
The Dragon down Irvine Beach.
Weirdest moment at work?
Oofed. I don't know. There's probably hundreds. Coming in and seeing my son there.
There we go. And last one, who plays you in a movie of your life?
Back in the day, I'd have said Brad Pitt, but right now I'd probably take his brother Armpit to Brennan. That would be fine.
There we go. Thanks for playing 5 fast ones. We'll be asking our guests every week to get involved. Right, so Jamie, what's next for you and your business?
Next steps for us in the business is we're just about to, well, hopefully the start of next year, take on our internationalisation of the business, where we're going to be looking at Texas as our first global kind of expansion, and then looking to go into other parts of the global marketplace soon after.
Continuing to grow. What's one thing that you hope for Ayrshire's future?
I hope that people invest in the next generation, continue that investment in the next generation. With that, the likes of the AI fund that was coming in, hopefully we can start using that money to develop the next generation, because there's all these jobs that are coming that we've not got the people for.
Absolutely. Now, Jamie, listen, it's been a great show today, but have you got any final shout-outs and thanks to anyone?
I'll just thank, basically, Heather and the kids for obviously putting up with me, and then thank to all my team, anybody that's listening to this just now. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here, so thank you.
This is the Ayrshire Insights Podcast.
Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe now.